speaking to your colleagues? What are fellow MPs telling you? Do you have the numbers?
I wouldn't be here, Tim, if I didn't have significant support within the party.
Do you have the numbers, though? Are you confident you have the numbers?
Well, those conversations will continue over coming days, but I wouldn't be putting my hand up if I didn't believe I was the right person to take us to the election and I didn't have significant support within the party.
Why are you a better option than Stephen Miles?
Well, look, I have the utmost respect for Stephen Miles. We've been friends for a long time, and he and Annastacia, as leader and deputy leader, have delivered a lot for Queensland. We have very strong foundations on which to build upon. But as the Premier said yesterday, we do need renewal. Now is our time for renewal. And I believe I'm best placed to lead that renewal and change.
Do you think by putting your hand up, this could create a messy leadership stoush between you and Mr Miles?
Oh, look, we respect each other, but of course we have different views on who is best placed to lead the party. And I think, MPs this week have a really tough decision about who is best placed to lead us to the next election and to win in the interests of Queenslanders.
Are you prepared to go the full ballot of unions, MPs and party members to see this all the way through?
Well, look, those conversations, as I said, will continue. I'll keep talking to my colleagues, but as I said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have significant support. Again, all of those conversations will continue to happen, but I guess my message today is I believe I am the best person to lead the renewal and change that we need to see. We have really strong foundations to build upon.
Have you met with the right faction today?
I've been having conversations with many members of the right.
But the right faction have said that they are set to meet separately with you and Mr Miles to negotiate out terms.
Yeah. So I haven't met them, but I've had many conversations and I'll continue those conversations.
Are you trying to position yourself as a candidate of change?
Well, I mean, the Premier said herself, and, again, can I just pay tribute to the enormous task. As she said yesterday, it was a marathon, and we really do owe the Premier for all of those years of incredible work. But as the Premier said, we need renewal, and I believe I'm best placed to lead that renewal and change.
You haven't held a senior economic portfolio in the government that looks really important going forward. How could you lead the government and the caucus without having that experience in economic management?
Well, Lydia, I've had many portfolios, including small business training and skills and employment. I led our small businesses through the COVID-19 recovery. I was thrilled to be able to work on policies like free TAFE and training. I've had many portfolios, including Attorney General, work in the community sector. I believe I am best placed to take the party to the next election and articulate the choice that Queenslanders have at the next election. Queenslanders are struggling right now. Imagine how tough we would be doing it if we'd had an LNP government with the cuts and the chaos. That is their experience in government.
Did Stephen Miles' camp offer you the deputy leadership?
No.
The government private self-funded and
Well, thankfully having women leaders, because of women like Annastacia, is not a new thing anymore, and isn't that a wonderful thing for all the women and girls in Queensland?
Looking front centre of your policy, where's gone wrong that there's dozens of people living on the streets and stuff?
Look, I want to be really clear. We have very strong foundations to build upon, but clearly there are Queenslanders without a roof over their head, and that is of the utmost importance to me, and we need to be doing more.
Do you agree that a months-long leadership contest would almost certainly end in defeat for the government?
Look, I think we are having conversations. We want to make sure, come Friday, we have a new leader that can take us forward to the next election. Of course, we'll respect whatever happens with the different views of MPs, but as I've said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have significant support.
And if MPs go and get the vote for Stephen Miles, you probably would withdraw?
Absolutely. Whoever becomes our next Premier, I will throw my support behind them because this election is so important. And whoever wins, I will absolutely back them. Of course I will.
Clarify that point though, if MPs vote for Stephen Miles on Friday, you will withdraw.
Look, again, those discussions are ongoing about the process. I do understand nominations will open later this week and we'll have those discussions. But I think we're all keen to see a new leader who can take the fight up to the LNP and really listen to Queenslanders. As I said, listen to Queenslanders in our suburbs and our regional communities about what more we can be doing to support them.
So you're not ruling out going all the way with the party membership ballot and the ballot of the union?
Look, I am here because I believe I am the best person to take us to the next election. I think we all want to see a new leader as quickly as possible. I think that's in the best interest of the party and the government going forward.
Are there members of the United Workers Union that you've spoken to, sorry, MPs, not members, are there MPs that are aligned to that union that have told you that they
I'm not going to go
support you?
into who's told me what, where and when. My message is I believe I can deliver the change and renewal that we need and that I can win the next election with a very dedicated, hard-working team with the amazing foundations that we have built over the last 8 years. Again, all of those discussions will continue.
You use the term renewal repeatedly. If you become leader, will there be a complete overhaul of the cabinet?
Again, Lydia, those are conversations for when there is a new leader. And I'm putting my hand up to be... Well, I'm putting my hand up to lead the change that we need to see by listening to Queenslanders. And Queenslanders are doing it tough right now. I think we all know that. I have seen that firsthand as the Health Minister. You know, I see Queenslanders every day walking into our emergency departments because they cannot afford to see a GP. We can and we must do more to support them. I have the utmost respect for both Stephen Miles and Cameron Dick. And as I said, I think Stephen, you know, as deputy with Annastacia, has a really strong legacy. But I believe we need renewal and we need to change the way we do some things. And I believe I'm best placed to do that. Well, I've talked about my priorities. You know, I think we need to make housing front and centre, of course, cost of living, far more transparency and inclusion around Paralympic and Olympic Games, including delivering for regional Queensland. So there's some of the things that I want to talk to my colleagues about.
You mentioned transparency. Will you release the Triple C report to Jackie Trail?
Again, I'm not going to go into any policy specifics today. I don't think you expect me to, but I'm here today to say I believe I'm the best person to take us forward.
We've seen MPs, I guess, background MPs who once said that there were inclination to democracy. Do you think that is, how can you be leader if those from example were in
Look, I, again, am not interested in what people are saying to each other. I'm having conversations with my colleagues and I have significant support within the party. And MPs know me and you all know my track record. You know, I listen to Queenslanders, I go and meet them, I bring people together to work on solutions and I deliver.
The Premier endorsed Stephen. I suppose why do you agree that it's true?
Oh, look, it's not a surprise that the Premier would nominate her Deputy Premier. They've worked closely together. Of course she would. But the real issue now, the question for MPs this week is who can take us forward and who can win the next election.
When did this decision coalesce in your mind?
So obviously over the course of, just over 24 hours having conversations with people.
Stephen Miles has a very close relationship with Gary Bullock. If you're a leader, how do you plan to manage relationships with the unions? Will you be standing up to them? Will you be...
Lydia, I will continue to manage my relationships with trade unions and other stakeholders and Queenslanders like I always have. You know, I always say my door is open. I'm happy to meet with people. You know, we can't strengthen our services and our economy if we're not listening to Queenslanders.
Stephen Miles can be very confident they have the numbers. They've said that repeatedly over the past few days. Do you think you actually have the numbers now?
I have said I have significant support within the party and I'm putting my hand up because I believe I'm the best person to take us forward.
Has the right given you any assurances at all?
Look, we've been having conversations and those conversations will continue.
What conversations have you had with Stephen Miles today?
I haven't spoken with Stephen Miles today other than, of course, he chaired the Queensland Disaster Management Committee meeting and we were all there to make sure that Queenslanders up north are as ready as they can be.
So you didn't give them a heads up that you were planning to...
I haven't spoken to Stephen Miles today.
Have you spoken to Cameron Dick today?
Yes.
Did you speak to Cameron Dick yesterday?
Yes.
Or the nature of that conversation?
It's the same conversations that I've had with multiple people and colleagues in the party. I think I've spoken to almost all my colleagues now.
So do you see Cameron Dick as your only option to become leader, given you're not talking
No,
to Stephen
again,
Miles?
as I said, those conversations will continue, but I am here today putting my hand up because I believe I am the best person to lead the party through this process of renewal and change.
Have you spoken to any other male members of the right faction today?
I think so, Tim.
What about Grace? Has she indicated
Yes.
that she'd support
Look, again, I'm not going to say or outline to all of you the nature of my conversations, and I don't think you would expect me to. I have texted the Premier to say thank you and the things that I have just outlined to you, of course. Look, the Premier will, of course, get back to me at some stage. Sorry? Listen, the Premier has just been given the most significant press conference of her career. I think she's a little busy, and as she said yesterday, she's entitled, I think, to have that break. She has, in her words, run a marathon.
If you were to be elected
Last
leader, how
question.
would you manage the portfolio of initiatives given the outcry and the backlash that's controversy that's been going towards that?
Well, I think, as I said, I've been really clear. I believe we need a far more inclusive approach and a far more transparent approach, and we need to be also considering the important infrastructure for regional
Does that
Queensland.
include an independent infrastructure authority?
Those are conversations that I will have if I am lucky enough to be elected leader and lead the state. Thank you all so much.